Hello everyone and welcome to a really wild game, and as the title suggests, a very short one, between Felix Langal, better known as XQC, and Charlie, who doesn't have an official last name. Rather, I wasn't able to find one online. I did find one, but it does seem to be an unconfirmed one, so I decided to skip it out. But on Twitch he's known as Moist Critical, and on YouTube as Penguin Zero. And yeah, it's a very short game. So without further ado, let's check it out. Too many of you have requested it, so I decided to show it as part of this video, where we are going to discuss several things. So without further ado, XQC opens with e4. We have e5 from Charlie, knight to f3 by Felix, and now knight to c6, and d4. The Scotch is on the board. We have e captures on d4 and knight captures, so nothing out of the ordinary here, and bishop to c5, now with a double attack on the knight. And here you could do a lot of things. For example, knight captures on c6 is a very popular line that that attacks the queen, and then you can do a nice in-between move that threatens checkmate, and only after the queen defense can you pick up the knight here, and the game just continues. However, after this bishop to c5 move, Felix played c3, defends the knight on d4, and now comes knight to f6. And this is one move that can often end in a very short game when players who are just starting out their chess journey are playing, and it is what happened in this game. Here you would usually continue with something like bishop to e3, and then the game continues where the queen is a bit suspicious on f6. However, Felix played knight captures on c6 here, and he left his f2 pawn undefended, at which point Charlie just captured it and delivered checkmate. So queen captures on f2 is checkmate, and this is how this game ended in 6 moves. So very impressive, and Charlie was very impressed with himself. He said that this must be some sort of a record. He was he inquired as to what is XQC's chat saying, and so on. So why I'm showing this is, well, aside from a lot of you requesting it, is because I would also like to share with you this article. It's an article from Chess Tech Beyond the Board, and well, it talks about, is PogChamps a good way to promote chess, or basically is it an embarrassment for chess? Now here I'm going to read the entire article now. So for those of you who are not interested in hearing that, I will also put just a link to it in the description below if you prefer reading. But here we have views of David Lada, who is the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer at FIDE.com, and also that of Stefan Loeffler, who is the Features Editor of Chess Tech. So one is for PogChamps as ways of promoting chess, and the other one is against it. So let's just briefly go through it. So chess.com runs a chess tournament on Twitch between popular gamers and streamers. For FIDE Chief Marketing and Communications Officer David Lada, PogChamps is the best chess promotion in years. Chess Tech editor Stefan Loeffler sees it as an embarrassment for the contestants, the world's biggest chess platform, and ultimately our game. So let's see some of the pros and cons, or so to say. Here, David Lada says, I am very critical about how chess has generally been promoted. We have been doing it all wrong all the time, with very few exceptions. The inaugural chess.com PogChamps is one of these exceptions. I hope it is here to stay. Chess is popular, but the overall popularity of the game doesn't pay justice to the fantastic qualities that chess possesses as a product. I firmly believe there is a huge untapped potential. I would go as far as to state that we could double the size of the currently existing chess community in the medium term, just with some hard work in the right direction and with a little bit of creativity. So our main sin is that chess people tend not to think outside of the chessboard. They don't pay enough attention to the world around them. This little flaw is inherent to our nature. The game rewards those who manage to isolate themselves, but this bad trait is reflected in how the chess world is structured and how it functions. Also, he says purely promotional activities are marginalized. You give 10k probably $10,000 or 10,000 euros, doesn't really matter, to the average chess organizer to improve his tournament, and he will spend it on hiring 2 more 2600 players. Like, this is going to make a difference. Also, he says that if you give him $1 million, he will organize 10 tournaments in exactly the same way, with $100,000 or euros in prizes each. We live in perpetual endogamy. Repeating ourselves, almost no one is inventing in reaching out to new audiences. There are very few strategic plans in place to expand and bring new players to the game. This is where PogChamps fit. The initiative just ticks all the boxes. You take a bunch of popular variety streamers with a combined audience of 15 million subscribers and you throw a chess challenge at them. I believe some of these guys actually learned to play during the early weeks of the lockdown. Is it silly? Yes. Are we making a show out of the absolute beginners blundering pieces? Yes. So what? Also, he says another common sin is our chess community is that we take ourselves too seriously. PogChamps is not disrespecting chess, but quite the opposite. The whole thing sends a message to a huge audience showing how easy it is to learn the game, but how difficult it is to master it, and it demonstrates that chess can be fun from minute one. I am just eyeballing from the perspective of a former business person, but this initiative probably awakens a curiosity about chess in 2 or 3 million people. 1 million of them may become occasional players, and maybe around 250,000 of them will turn into hardcore fans. New chess consumers who will contribute towards the chess economy by taking chess lessons, participating in open tournaments, and buying chess books. Also, I remember when my friend Antonio Radić, AGADMATOR, that's me, started his YouTube channel. His rating is around 1952,000, and he commentates chess games for an audience up to that level. I recall hearing some demeaning comments from grandmasters at the time, but the skepticism vanished when the number of his subscribers surpassed anything seen before. He has now 671,000 followers and growing. Antonio has probably brought more new people to the game than many super GMs together, and we all benefit from his work in direct and indirect ways. We need more PogChamps, more AGADMATORs. We need celebrity tournaments, hand and brain events, pro-biz exhibitions. We need more banter blitz and more commentators like Pepe Cuenca. We need corporate championships, singers like Huga, photographers like Leonard Otis, artists like Maria Hugina, and global chess festivals like Judith Polgar's Chess Connects Us. We probably can live without one more 2700 round-robin tournament. The only thing that bugs me about PogChamps is that the idea did not occur to me before. So this is basically David's view of the whole matter regarding the PogChamps. And now we're gonna check out Stefan's view. He says, Bob and Danny, commentators of many world-class events, cannot help laughing. A simple knight check picks up the queen. He's referring to the game Fusli, one of the streamers was playing in the PogChamps championship. A simple knight check picks up the queen. Will Fusli see it? If it's not pronounced Fusli, apologies for that. I do not know how it's pronounced. Her hand moves towards the knight, but she picks up a pawn next to it. Eyes are rolling. Her opponent doesn't use the chance to save his queen and instead continues with an attack on the knight. Prompted this way, Fusli moves the knight and gives the check. She still hasn't seen that it nets her the queen until she bursts out what a F-word genius she is. Then follows by, Fusli is one of the 16 beginners at chess who happen to be famous enough on Twitch to warrant an invitation on PogChamps. Chess.com spends $50,000 in prize money and probably a similar amount on commentators and transmissions. The viewer numbers may be worth the investment. However, and this is something that, well, that is basically the whole theme of this video. The real price the world's biggest chess platform is paying is its reputation. Something I'm very interested if you guys agree on. Regular users are dismayed that the Patzer Bonanza has taken center stage, as if their favorite platform told them who cares for a match between Carlsen and Aronin when you can see Fusli, right? Also, he says, PogChamps reminds me of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which was not the lowest point but the emblematic format of trash TV. C-list celebrities embarrass themselves for attention, publicity, and a handful of cash. The trouble with chess is that it takes years of play and study until you occasionally produce a game that is worth seeing. Letting beginners play for an audience is something one should never do. If chess.com wanted to do a show with gamers and streamers. Instead of presenting them as fools, they should have been respected as the learners they are at chess. They could have competed at minigames, solved puzzle rush, exercises of the simpler variety, and showed their team skills at hand and brain. And only in the end of the show they would play a normal chess game 1 against 1, not on the practical but boring user interface of the chess platform, but in a cool, gamified display as gamers and their fan audiences are used to. So that's it for the article. You've heard David's view of the matter and also Stefan's view of the matter. So I'm very much interested in to which view are you leaning towards. I know most of you guys are silent watchers on the channel, but maybe for this video you can make an exception. And if you don't really feel like typing anything all that much, you can just write who you're leaning towards more. And yeah, that's basically the question is. Are we satisfied with chess the way it is without bringing more people to the game, or do we want more people to the game? Because on one side you have me, some random dude here from Croatia, analyzing elite Grandmaster games, and on the other hand you have super Grandmasters analyzing games played by maybe 16 to 1800 ELO players. And I don't know. It's a tricky question because, for example, if someone only knows the moves of the game, he doesn't know much more, and he sees a game played between, let's say, since Stefan already mentioned Carlsen and Aronjan, if he sees a game played between Carlsen and Aronjan, analyzed by, let's say, 3 super grandmasters, basically all he's gonna hear is blah 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 blah. And I don't think he's going to be all that much interested in becoming a chess player or taking up chess or investing any time in learning chess at all. And on the other hand, when he sees Fusli blundering, let's say, 3 pieces in one move, and that be presented as a positive experience, everyone is laughing, everyone is enjoying themselves, that person might decide to take up chess, invest more time in it, and well, maybe even become a chess player with time. So, both, I would say for getting more people to the game, like David suggests, that we were to maybe double the existing chess base of players, PogChamps, I believe, is definitely the way to go. And it's a very interesting article and a very interesting question. I, for one, side with David on this one, since it's something I've been doing for forever, and well, I'm just always up for bringing more people to the game. I don't think it disrespects the game or that it's an embarrassment for chess. People who like, I haven't been following, even though a lot of people follow PogChamps, I didn't really show any games from PogChamps aside from that one that Voyboy played against Nate Hill, as I was showing games from the Clutch Chess International and from other bigger events. So of course, when there's like a game between Carlsen and Aronjan, as that we've already used that expression, I will of course show that one first, but it doesn't mean I'm not interested in this and will not show this. And yeah, I just think since I'm not an elite player, me showing a game between Carlsen and Aronjan is more enjoyable for beginners and someone who maybe is trying to take up chess than when a super grandmaster does it, as their commentary is far more well, detailed and sophisticated than mine. But yeah, basically that's what I wanted to ask you guys. Who do you lean towards, David or Stefan? Do comment, and yeah, that's it. That's basically it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed this 6-move game, this Charlie Brilliance, and that you've enjoyed my reading skills, which are not all that impressive, but it did take me a while. And yeah, also I would like to thank Aber Majumdar, Jel Hermans, Suleiman Surti, Stephen Bevan, and Russell Light for contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the coverage of anything what happens in the chess world, checking up on your wonderful suggestions, and so on. Thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.